Yeah. Oh yeah.
How good was it to hear this though? Finally. It was just.
All right.
It felt so. It took
starting.
so long to hear that song tonight. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But it just took way too long.
Yeah, they were on the brink of being shut out. You got to hear that once. But Vasilevsky, turns out he's pretty good.
Oh my God, he's such a monster too in that net. Like he looks way too big. Like there's something up. Is he that big in real life, or is it just a gear?
When you snipe like Willie, it doesn't really matter.
He's pretty gangly. No, that's right. That was a rocket of a shot.
Yep. Did you guys see the butt?
Huh?
Buddy, like mooning the camera. You see that? Look at the ass behind Keith.
God, that is awesome.
That is hilarious.
The ass saved the season.
Golden.
Say no to crack.
Yep. Well, if you can't tell what we're talking about, guys, it's post game Leafs and Lightning in a game which, while I didn't think the Leafs played incredibly bad, I didn't think they deserved to win until they won. So we're going to get right into that. Welcome to season 2. Episode 5 of the Deke Snipe Sally podcast. Titter tatter, let's get at her. All right, here we are, hot off the victory. How's everyone feeling?
Oh, that was
pretty good. I just feel like if this
My
is a
heart's still
boxing match,
going.
I'd give round 1 to Tampa Bay, and round 2 was maybe a tie. 3 was definitely Leafs, and then the overtime win was just. I mean, there was 0 Tampa Bay there. So,
Did you guys not know? Right. Did you guys not know it went in? Like, I couldn't see it go in. I guess it went in on like this side of Vasilevsky, but like soon as JT, I think it was in front of the net, put his arms up, I was like, and I screamed. I'm not going to do it. But Adam's like, shh, because his mom's upstairs, right? I'm like, sorry. I just did not expect it.
Those are wins. She's always just like, that's so big against like Tampa. I don't care if they get
really
or whatsoever. Like, the storyline is changing already. Like, at least we're having a horrible season, 6 games in, and now it's like you're back. Your stars are playing. Campbell is just absolutely insane. Sign the man right now.
Excellent.
I'll even give Duvas my Visa card, like, so. Give him that.
Paddy had that paid off on payday anyway.
Yeah.
Pay him up front, he says. Up front loaded.
Yeah. We all know you don't need to put that on credit, Paddy.
I want the points though.
I was gonna say he wants the points. He wants to air miles so he can go watch him play.
That's how tight Paddy is, folks.
God.
So
and then you got to look at the exchange. You guys have some American dollars there, Paddy, Mr. Banker.
Can't do it.
Too funny, but yeah, no doubt, Campbell was amazing tonight. Like I don't know how many times like it was going down, and I just shut my eyes, like, oh God, oh God, oh God, and then it was just like, holy crap. I never like actually shut my eyes, but I felt like I needed to because I felt like there was a goal coming, and he kept it out. He was like, no 5-hole here, boys, and he just
no, it's solid.
Nope.
I just have so much confidence in that man.
Real. Yeah, me too. I'm
never expected that when they signed it.
I was already sold, but
didn't expect that.
I wasn't expecting this level of goaltending from Jack Campbell. I knew he was capable. Everyone knew he was capable from a long time ago, but I just didn't see it coming to fruition in Toronto. And I at that point I had no idea the personality the guy had, because I'm in love with his personality. I just think that the guy is just so good for the team. Like he just radiates goodness, you know what I mean? So him to be playing at the level he is, and the guys are behind that, and they're playing for Jack, and clearly they wanted that one. But yeah, no, I was so stoked at that game. And the one takeaway for me is one thing that we've been hearing it since the Babcock era. We hear that in all the losses at the end of games when we lose by a goal or we lose in overtime, and you always hear the coach say, well, we got to find a way to win. You're going to face adversity. You got to find a way to win. And that was one of the games which will stick out to me forever as a time when the Leafs found a way to win, because they didn't deserve to win. I don't think. I think that they played well in the third period.
I think
the first period.
They definitely played better entire game than Tampa Bay did. I mean,
I think
if you
so,
remember
yeah.
the shot clock going up there, like, oh, they haven't had a shot in 12
Oh god,
minutes.
yeah. And
You
then
know,
at
2
one
shots
point they
in
had
20,
2
so
shots
it's-
and over 20. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
I agree with you, Ryan, to a point, but I believe that they were definitely the better team for 75% of that game.
no, they
It's
still could have
just-
easily lost.
Back in the
I don't
90s,
know.
that would have been a
Defense-
nice
oh,
tie.
100%.
So I'll give that to you.
It was like the battle of the goalies at that point because
Yeah.
honestly, I don't think that goal, the first goal on Campbell, really shouldn't have went in. He should have had that. Typical
Yeah.
Campbell probably would have had that. I think
Speaking of
maybe a
goals that I didn't
crashing
think win.
Muzzin coming that would make a difference. Like if you have like a big man like Muzzin coming down at you, probably doing 60 miles an hour skating, you know,
Yep.
you'd probably freak out a little bit too. But no doubt, like that was definitely, I think, in the Leafs' favor, in my opinion. That game. But it was more even, if anything. But if I have to pick, I would definitely
Scoring
give
it like a boxing match, I
bigger
definitely
ed-
would have give the decision to the Leafs.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
the
I
first,
think
the start of
so.
the start of the period, like the
They
first
had so-
period, I could definitely give the Tampa Bay.
They had so many grade A chances. Like Simmons,
Right.
I thought
Vasilevsky kept them in that.
Simmons
No,
was
yeah.
fantastic. Like Richie had a couple chances.
Couple
Bunting
gaps
had
too.
a couple. Like
Hmm.
the
Okay,
one in
well,
the first where Bunting almost put a 5-hole. Like I don't know how Vasilevsky saves that one, but
Yeah,
I just don't see. I didn't see one player on Tampa other than points maybe that probably stood out. Like I don't know. I think the Leafs deserve this. I really do.
Getting outvoted here, but let me
Yep.
throw this. Let me throw this one to you.
Just as
While
much, if not
and
more.
listen, while you guys might be right, I'm not disagreeing with you. You guys are way smarter than me. But which team turned the puck over the most, creating odd man chances?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
it's
Right.
always
Okay.
We were atrocious in the middle of the ice. Atrocious. Zone entries bad again. Right.
Mhm.
I think, oddly enough, I
they
think
got
that
pretty good defense.
while some people may have argued that the Marner hit or that the 2-man advantage where they generated nothing was a bit of a killer, I think that
Mhm.
coming out into the second period, that hit may have sparked the Leafs,
Yeah.
and kind of give them a little bit of life.
Yeah.
So that's my theory.
I'm really
on
liking
it.
those pairings. Like I have zero problem with Liljgren in that lineup,
Okay.
No,
and I have zero
I'm there with
problems
you.
with Dermott on
what's that?
the top pairing.
Is that backwards for you guys?
The deserved win
Uh-huh.
meter.
Ooh,
Yeah. Can you guys see it, or is
Yeah,
it
66
backwards? Like is it
62.8%.
37.
You know
Yeah.
what? That would
Yeah.
equal 2
So,
periods.
Yeah. So I think no doubt.
I'm down with that.
It says Lightning win 37.2% of the time after the 500 game simulation. So in case anyone's actually listening to us on
All right, all
line,
right.
we're looking
all
at
right,
the
We're
all
wrong,
right.
we're looking at the deserve
wrong.
to win meter, and we are proving Ryan wrong.
No, I-
That the Leafs deserved 62.8% of the deserving
driving it in.
win meter.
Keep driving it in.
all
Yeah,
right.
I'm
You know I
like for
have
that.
to. Ryan loves that I razz
Kick
him.
back
all the
here, I'll
time.
get on that.
Reminds me of my wife. I comes on here because I don't get enough shit and abuse at home. But
Well,
Yeah.
he probably deserves it there too. Then
let me ask you this one, because me and my wife argued about this earlier. The Marner penalty, the what led to the 2-man penalty shot or not?
Oh yes.
yes,
No,
Penalty shot. I believe it should have been.
no.
Just because I feel like they need more of those in the game. Like they were talking about during the intermission. Like it's entertainment, and people want to
Actually,
see it.
I
Show
mean,
us.
actually,
Do
the fact
it.
that Hedman was there, the fact that Hedman was still able to make contact with him, yeah, no, maybe not.
No,
Because-
Sergachev coming in
Yeah.
from the side. I think they gave him
Sergachev,
a
sorry,
penalty
yeah,
shot.
that's the one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
right.
Sergachev's
He still,
the one who
he
did
could,
it,
if he wasn't there, yes, 100%.
I don't.
My-
and I don't think Marner had.
That's
I don't
the
think
difference
Marner had enough
maker.
gap there between Hedman. I know Hedman's got a long stick, but
Well, he was ahead of Hedman, and like Ray
Yeah.
Ferraro pointed out, Hedman was water skiing. He wasn't even skating.
Yeah.
He was hooked on and
Yeah.
going. And had
Yeah, what was up
Hedman
with
slowed him
that?
down,
He was
he was
beat.
gone, I think.
He
But,
must.
he
Yeah, he
was
must
beat.
be at the end of a shift or something. Yeah. Okay.
but there's a reason why. Again, we're not referees in the NHL, and we're here. So yeah, there we go, 3-1. Paddy, you're the odd man out on that one. I like it. Let's see if we can catch Kylie on something. But,
Never.
No.
Never.
the what we did realize in that game, outside of the 2-man advantage, that was just, oh boy, that was bad. That was as bad as you're going to see. That was just, and I'm watching Matthews on that. Matthews fluffed the puck or flubbed the puck at least
Yeah.
twice. You know, just passes
Yeah.
to nobody, just whiffing on passes. Sad.
Mhm.
I mean, everyone's entitled to a mistake every once in a while, but at some point you gotta bear down a little bit, you know. But I really think that that sense of urgency that they needed in that first period power play, we've seen in the 4-on-3. So they were clearly better in a 4-on-3 than they are in a 5-on-3, which is an interesting take.
That happens.
More
though.
space.
Like,
Can I
a lot of
say
5-on-3s
something?
are
No,
going- yeah.
no, you can go home.
Who were we missing
Huh?
in that 5 versus 4? Who was missing when
Riley.
they had a 5-on-4 versus? Thank you.
Who?
Just saying.
Okay.
Just want to say that.
She has a point.
I know they were trying the 4 forwards thing. I know it was 4
Oh, yeah.
forwards, but I do
Yeah.
want to say, as good of a defenseman Riley can be at times, I just believe Sandin should be there over him.
I
Well,
would
as soon
have had
as he's on
Sandin.
the ice,
I think
don't
he's
score.
Yeah, I think he's the
Just-
difference maker for PP2 versus power play number 1. And now, no doubt that 4 forwards obviously worked. And with Willie and Marner back there on defense, I felt safe. And but however, I do believe for the power play, it should load up and put Sandin on it. But that's just my opinion.
No, and you're not wrong. I mean,
We say it
there
every
is
time,
no
and
wrong
we
answer to
stick
that,
by it.
that predicament. I mean, Morgan
No,
Riley
but
is more than capable.
try it.
I agree. I will agree that that they should at least give him a look on that power play if it
Yep.
continues to flub, because it hasn't been good, right? They had a goal last game.
He can't walk the line. He can't hold the line. Not like Sandin can. And
Not like he used
he
to.
can't shoot the puck like Sandin can. Yeah, not like exactly. No doubt he could do it once upon a time, but it's almost like he's, I don't know, I
Going
don't
back
want to
to
say taking a
Hainsey
step
days.
back.
Not gonna
But
need him in our
yeah,
first
it's
star.
just right now I feel like, and I don't know if it's maybe in his head a little bit that I can't say Sandin's taking his job, man, just signed a contract, but
I think Raleigh's been
I don't know.
fine. I think he's
Take a
I
fine.
think so
spot.
too. I
Yeah.
just feel like that Sandin could do a better job at that
Yeah,
particular
At that
position.
part of the
That's
game,
fair.
like I don't like. It's not
Yes,
everybody
yes.
can handle the minutes like Raleigh does.
No, and that's what I'm getting at. Just the power play. Don't
How do you
put him
know?
on the
I
top
mean, he's
line or
not
nothing
far
like
off.
that.
Yeah,
I mean,
think it's too far
Sandin's
off.
we've never
numbers-
seen it,
Sandin with the Marlies was logging 20-odd minutes a game too. He's capable, but
and there's no
okay.
doubt he can't do it. And how do we feel about Liljgren?
Oh, you took the words out of my mouth.
Liljgren, little. Sorry, driving
No,
this
great,
one tonight.
good point. Because we talk about the Morgan Riley Sandin thing every podcast, but Liljgren deserves this time, I think, a little bit more chit chat because he's really been, I
take
think,
it easy at him.
owning his spot. You know, I noticed there in the third period, no hesitation to pinch when he should have. No hesitation to try and get the shot through and getting it through for the most part. I mean, and for a team like Tampa Bay, which was clogging it up like it was Game 7 of the in the playoffs, Liljgren was able to get the shot through and create that little bit of havoc is what's going to score on Vasilevsky. You're not beating him clean, not very often unless you're
No.
Nylander in overtime, who I would put on the ice against anybody clearly. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what your guys' take is on that, but that's how I'm feeling on it.
Well, I'd say Sandin had just started his 10 seconds on his shift when Tavares got the goal. Raleigh left.
Yeah.
Sandin came on. 10, 15 seconds. Goal was in. I'm not saying
Nice
it was
+1 there.
Sandin. It was. But I was happy to see him on. I was just typing it to you guys saying I would love to see Sandin just put a stake in the ground
Yeah.
right now and tied up. But I never even had the time to type it out and Tavares hadn't done, so I'll take it.
I find Sandin is much more of a risk taker and creative. Like multiple
He's
times,
fast.
and he does a better job of getting the puck to the net.
Yeah.
Multiple times he would take that puck on the blue line, bring it into the center ice position or the center, say on the blue line,
Mhm.
and then he'd pivot back
Thank you.
just to throw the goalie out, throw the defenseman off, and get the puck to the net.
Hmm.
I think it's fine. And yet, like the other person that I've noticed the last couple games, I don't know if it's a coincidence. Brody down with Muzzin. Muzzin looks a lot better. Not
Yeah.
great, not what he's
Mhm.
been like, but I can see if they're possibly shopping Holl. I'm fine going with that 6 now. Trade deadline
Yeah.
with your veteran defenseman.
I can't see Holl going. I can see Dermott going. I can't see Holl. It's
Yeah.
just too sweet of a
I
deal.
just-
Too cheap.
I wonder though, like what the heck happened though? Like I feel like for him to be scratched 3 games, no doubt Liljgren has
Liljgren,
played and he
yeah.
deserves to stay in. Is that the only? Do we think that's all that is? Like he
Oh,
had a couple
definitely.
bad games,
Liljegren's played
lost
better.
his spot essentially. Yeah,
And again, Ruben's
But they
waiting for
haven't
one.
even
Rubens is
really-
waiting for a look,
Yeah.
and he needs one. So
he was up today apparently for
Yeah, it
a
was the
backup where
emergency call
Dermott
back,
was. Yeah, and I just thought it was strange because it was like 3 games. Like, I mean, they haven't even given him a chance to really even redeem himself unless he just.
But Dermott looks fine out there. But he's playing those tough
looks
minutes
great.
with Riley. I think Holl goes before Dermott. One, because of the age.
At this point.
Exactly, though, but that's the return.
Age and cap hit are a factor.
Because you got youth to replace Dermott with, and he'll probably get the best return. And speaking of Rubens, I think that's going to be the first Growler that has made the call-up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Completely see it. He's
That'd be,
got
yeah,
one.
it would be, I think.
That'll be noteworthy for our Growlers Nation crew. We'll get to a bit of Growler stuff now in a little bit. But yeah, no, I mean, all in all, I think we've seen the team turn the corner everyone would hope they would. After that atrocious Pittsburgh game. It's been a slow build. Like I said, yeah, they're trending in the right direction. So now, I mean, they could lay an egg again. I mean, it'd be a completely different narrative right now if John Tavares didn't tie it up. People would look at the game completely differently. I mean, you guys are looking at it and saying, yeah, the win-o-meter is at 60 whatever percent. But had they lost the game, the deserved win-o-meter, I don't think is showing nearly as high.
It was a good defensive game, though.
I thought in the first
They
period,
played really well.
I thought in the first period they played excellent defensively, because I looked at the shot clock at around, I think it was 9 minutes left. I was like, the shots are only 5-4. That's it, right? They hadn't scored at that point, right? I don't think. Not when I looked at it anyway. Whatever the time was, I can't say. But
do you want to know something silly though?
Sure.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you there, but I'm still on the same website here. It actually says to win the cup, the Lightning have a 6.6% odds. We actually have a higher percentage odds than they do at a 6.9%.
Well, that website's wrong.
Interesting little tidbit there. Yeah, exactly.
Kucherov is not factored in there.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. You must not be. There must not be like a code in this.
Check that 3 days before playoffs.
About the first round thing.
Yeah, when we're a lottery pick.
Exactly right.
Yeah, but I was prepared
let's
to
go
have
back.
this
Let's revisit this.
Yeah.
I was prepared to have this conversation if the Leafs didn't win, and it was one of those. It would have been one of those losses where I forget which game it was, where we would be fine with it. There was 5 or 6 games ago. I would have been fine. I thought he played really well. I thought the bottom 6 was really good. Simmons was doing a bit of dangling out there. I was fine with their game against Tampa. And I think it was a deserving win.
Well,
it's a Stanley Cup winner, and it has an MVP goalie. So
I find there's no better.
I don't know if you guys seen the stars of the game, but we have Willie with the first star, Jack with the second, and Vasilevsky with the third, of course.
Yeah, that's
I was just wanted to look here to see what the shots actually were, and
I mean, that
so the Leafs had the Leafs had 34 shots to Tampa Bay's 25. Hits were 20-13 for Tampa Bay. So not bad. Not the shot. Yeah, but all along they were trailing in shots the whole game. So they obviously did come back. A lot of that might be from overtime, but yeah, it was a pretty good effort all around. I mean, I think I would have been as crappy as it would have been for a loss. Like a point was nice, like to have that overtime. Like if we would have lost in overtime, I think I still would have been okay. Like I would have been happy with that. They came back.
Both teams deserved a point.
Yeah, 100%. So it is what
like I said earlier.
We got an extra one.
In the 90s, this would have been a good tie.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, but way before the loser point came in.
Yeah.
It's important to remember though, the 2 goals that we did put in, we had an odd man advantage, right? That's the key difference.
True.
I mean, when you talk about our power play is garbage, and it has been. So far, it hasn't been good. Like we're in the 20th in the league somewhere. There's somewhere between 20 and 25 last time I looked. But the 2 goals we did score were on the odd man. You won't get credit for one of them being a power play goal because it was 6-on-5. But that's the only way we were able to get one by Vasilevsky. So that being said, they only got one by Campbell. Period. So and that one, like Kylie said, I mean, you only need a flinch when you got Jake Muzzin bearing down on you, because I like to point out Nick Ritchie.
Oh, Nick Ritchie, yeah.
Was just a sack back checking. Like they showed it. They actually showed it.
Jeez.
In the
it was so bad.
I was like, who is that coming back? I thought it was one of the forwards. But no, the forward was back and just didn't do anything. And then the defenseman had to skate past him. I was like, God, that's so bad. And I've been so, like, I was excited when they signed Richie because I was thinking to myself, maybe this is another great Dubas under the cover, you know, Galchenyuk kind of reclamation. Yeah, a bit of a, you know, there's something that we're not seeing here that Dubas can exploit. And after watching Nick, why am I calling it? Yeah, Nick. After watching Nick this year so far, I'm not impressed at all.
Oh yeah,
well, the fact he's playing on the fourth line is. But
I was saying something turning heads.
Yeah,
he's like that other mystic that
not,
we got percolating down the Marlies. So.
It's true. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Richie either, though. I actually tweeted about it during that because I was just like, that was the one thing I've noticed. Like, yeah, okay, Muzzin, you took way too long to shoot and you screwed up. Like, I was like screaming, shoot! Like you wait way too long. And then Adam literally said it before it even happened. He was like, just watch 2-on-1 with that 2-on-1. Muzzin did get back. I mean.
Yeah, but the beauty is Muzzin shouldn't have to get back there. If he's in that deep with the puck, one of the forwards got to be pumping back there, and that's Richie. Right.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like Muzzin was so deep, and he still managed to get back before Richie did, and Richie was just coasting along. I'm like, what?
Not good enough.
What are you doing?
So
not
my
good
beef
enough.
with Richie,
not enough.
my beef with Richie, as well as Kerfoot and some others, if you're not scoring, you better be doing something.
Yes,
I'm looking at the stats. I'm looking at the stats there now. Richie had 0 hits tonight.
Yeah, that's not cutting it. That's not cutting it.
That's what did you do? You took up ice time that from whether it be players that are on the team right now, or some of you could call up, which I know is not an option, but I do think he turns it around. Like he had a good season with Boston last year, but if you're not scoring, you better be doing something else.
Yeah, and that's what I was actually glad you pointed that out because that's what I was going to say. Like, if you're not going to score, you're not going to do anything really effective in the game, then come out in the second period and take the head off of Sergachev, right? Then that's your role.
For doing what?
You know?
Yeah.
But like I've just seen nothing out of the guy, and they've given him opportunity on every line, and arguably the line he was on tonight was our best line, at least maybe not our best, but it was pretty freaking good. The fourth line was awesome, right? But not because of him. Right, Spezza and Simmons.
Give him some time.
Yeah,
give him
I mean,
some time
I'm not ready to throw him under the bus
completely. He did play on like 3 different lines since he's been here in 10 games, so we will give him some time. However, and I will say there was definitely something said to him during the first intermission because he did come out in a second and a third, like much more with a bit of oomph in his step. Whether or not he had any high hits, which I don't, that's still not good enough. But he did look like he was trying at least.
Yeah. Doing more right than wrong.
Yeah. You know what? Like, you hear the argument from non-Leaf fans and some Leaf fans all the time, take it away from Richie for a second, that Matthews and a couple of the boys, like Willie and those guys, they got no heart. They're never in the corners. Like 2 of the boys were in the corners all night. And you know what? I looked at a stat there from last game, and it's one of those stats that's been around for a while. Mark Stone is known for it in Vegas, is takeaways. And Willie continues to lead the team. I can't say every night, but he's there. He plays such a really, really good defensive game. He's so strong in the puck. Like that will eventually turn into be a steal of a contract for us, I think.
It already is. Leading the team in scoring.
Yeah.
And I love it. Like, because
he was the only guy in the playoffs that showed up. So
yeah.
Yeah, no, he carried his momentum in the playoffs right on into this season, and it shows. Notably, Marner Matthews, of course, with assists on that goal. I mean, that doesn't happen without the exceptional shooting ability of William Nylander, obviously. But I mean, it's nice to see those guys padding their stats, getting their confidence up. Because when the confidence comes, those guys are unstoppable. We all know that. The league knows that. It's just going to be interesting to see how this plays out now. Because I really enjoy the games where they're playing against contenders. Like watching that Pittsburgh game was, aside from the fact it was weird, it wasn't. You don't really have a measuring stick at that point. Same with the Vegas game. They won because they should have won, right? They played dominant because they should have been dominant. You know, they're playing against AHL defensemen. They should win. They should have won significantly more, actually, but they played well. I'm not going to knock them for that. But tonight was a real measuring stick kind of game. And while I didn't think they should have won, everyone else seems to, so I'll let that go for now. But you know, it tells you where you're sitting in the grand scheme of things come playoff time. Hopefully, if we're lucky enough to make the playoffs, and that's not going to be an easy task either. This.
Oh, and that's the playoff. We're taking on the Stanley Cup winner, so it was a well matched game all night. So yeah,
Will we?
yeah.
What's the consensus here with the best team in Canada then? I mean, well, people are saying that the Oilers are the best team in the league. I don't know about that. But are they a better team than the Leafs? What are your thoughts?
Thus far this season, yes.
But
They
haven't
asked it
played each
during
other yet.
the quiz on TSN, and Poulin said, "Well, yeah, they're really good. He's not convinced yet, though.
Yeah.
That
No.
goaltending is a little.
I was gonna say
I don't know.
goaltending is if they had a better goaltender.
Yeah.
So are they going to get Fleury or what? The Flower?
Hard to say.
Apparently.
it's been talked about.
I
it
have
for
him on
years
my
now.
fantasy team, so I really hope he goes somewhere because
What?
he's killing me in
Stinking it.
Chicago.
Yeah.
What's been impressive?
Like
is
I picked him like 3rd overall, and he's killing me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Like
not.
Nugent
I don't know
Hopkins
when
has-
I picked him, but
Nugent Hopkins has been impressive. Puljujarvi, Hyman, of
10
course.
points, yeah.
Like that's depth that they didn't have before. That they didn't have production outside the top two.
What do you got
I
on defense? Nurse,
Keith.
Heath,
Yeah,
Barry, CC.
Russell.
yeah.
There's a lot of
I don't
ex-Leafs on
see
that
it,
team
but
now.
Yeah,
I just think they're
I'm
in a-
not. They are like Leafs 2-3 years ago, where they have like mediocre. Mediocre.
you're getting there.
goaltending.
You're getting there.
Yeah, like, and
Yeah.
then subpar defense, who some can score, some can stop goals. We'll see. Depends on the mood they're in.
I like
and then they're just
Yamamoto
going to
too.
try. Yeah, he's good, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think their idea is just to outscore their opponent, and that was exactly what the Leafs tried to do 2 years ago, and that does not work.
No, you need more.
That's my opinion.
Now, Duncan Keith will show you how to do it the other way as well.
That's why people listen to us, because apparently they
100%,
think
like,
that our
he's-
opinions are reasonable, which I don't really understand. But anyway, that's cool. Thanks for listening.
It's better than hearing the other crap, though.
Yeah, well, that's
Thanks.
true.
I mean, I'm
So
speak
move,
what's on my mind. whether or
moving
not
on, we
people-
talked about the Oilers. What about Jack Eichel? Traded today
Jacket.
for Alex Tuck and blah, 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 et cetera, et
Did I
cetera.
see that Carolina was the mystery team that came in with a
Yeah.
solid offer at the end? He almost went
Really?
to
I didn't see
Carolina,
that.
That would have been
Yeah, I
bad.
saw that come around today.
yeah. Yeah, it would have been terrible.
So it's
Depending on what they
like-
give up, though.
Like it's one of those trades, a blockbuster trade that you will not see come. The two best players in the trade are both injured, like significant injuries.
Yep.
Yeah.
Krebs is a really good player. That rumor going around last night, everyone about Kachuk. I'm sure where there's smoke, there's fire.
There's definitely something.
I
You
suspect
know, I
they're
would say
gonna have some trouble
Goudreau was
signing him.
definitely part of that.
Yeah, I think there was
Um,
something to it.
But I'm going to say this for him to leave Buffalo for having trouble with the organization since Vegas has been in the league, they've been known to have this heartless, cold approach on ditching players, and Fleury was just another example of it. And I don't think that's going to be good for Eichel right now. It might be better than where he was, and no doubt it will be. And Vegas is going
Man.
to be cool.
When everyone's back healthy in Vegas, they're going to be a wagon. They're going to be a
Yeah.
force. Well, they've
They
always
can't
been a
afford them
force.
all, so they
Well,
can't afford them all.
It's going to be
No.
interesting because
they're
they have a
gonna-
very,
someone
very
gotta
good
go.
team.
Mm.
I mean, how much was Alex Tuck being like? What's his salary? There's
He
no
was-
way it's
he
the
was in
same
the
as
force.
Eichel's.
He was in the
Yeah.
force.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, Krebs is still at an entry level, so
Yeah.
you got to find money
Pietrangelo
somewhere. I know it
finally
helps
scored
with.
tonight.
What's
Oh,
that?
did he got a goal finally?
Pietrangelo, like he was pointless for 7 or 8 games.
Yeah,
I
they smoked
don't know,
Ottawa, so
I wouldn't want Jack Eichel on my team. I'm not a.
Oh, I'm not an Eichel
Not
fan
a
anyway.
believer.
I put him in the same category as Line. I think they're. I don't know. I think they're a little
attitudes.
selfish, but trading Kachuk for Eichel, Calgary, I think unless they found a reason or unless they can't sign Kachuk, that's the only reason why I would have done it. But I see Kachuk as a more valuable player than Eichel. I know he's a game
Absolutely.
changer.
Yeah,
but-
I agree.
I mean, to Chuck, he's probably going to be about a 90-point player for a long time to come.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
mean,
And he got the
that's not a
grit
fair
and
trade.
the tenacity that
Yeah,
a lot of people want,
no.
and he brings it every night.
I'd take
in my
Chuck
opinion.
over Eichel any day. And I like Eichel. I do. He's a good player. It's just I'm not sure with the injuries. And
I don't
like
even
said, he
remember the
needs
guy.
he
It feels
has
like
a bit
it's
of
been so long.
It's been a while. A keynote that I looked at this cap situation for Vegas, and it's only this year that they've got a little bit of trouble. And with all the injuries they got, they could very well squeak through the year by just putting people on and off IR throughout the year to just get everyone through to the playoffs. But next year they're not going to have a problem because they've got Riley Smith coming off the cap. He's making $5 million there as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can't see him either staying with the team or making that kind of money. It's just not when you've got, you know, all your big guns. You got Stone, you got Pacioretty, you got
you can replace him.
Yeah, you're totally replaceable for a much cheaper option.
They're making a run this year.
They addressed their number one need, which was center. So
Yep.
I have both Mark Stone and I'm talking about my fantasy team a lot here. But I have both Mark Stone and Pacioretty on my team, and I did get an alert today that Mark Stone has been skating and he could potentially be back like soon. Yeah.
And a few
So that's
guys like
good.
that too.
Fantasy team. But yeah, no update on Pacioretty. But I mean, even if with Eichel on LTIR till the playoffs, there's no salary cap in the playoffs. So welcome back, Jack.
Yep.
if you're the Edmonton Oilers at the trade deadline and your goaltending, you're not comfortable with it, who do you even go out remotely and get? Maybe a Fleury. I don't know how many goalies would be an improvement over what they got there. Like,
And
you've
the
got a
price
lot
is
of young goalies.
significantly higher.
Both New York teams got young goalies. Washington, they're not getting rid of those guys. I just don't see a goalie out there that's going to be a game changer. Like, you've got big price goalies out there like Markstrom. I know he's playing well this year, but I don't know if Markstrom's getting you through 4 rounds of the playoffs.
Well, my bro is a big Oilers fan, and he's been talking about Spencer Knight for a long time. For some reason, he's so attracted to Spencer Knight, and he wants him in Edmonton, and for some reason, he's not letting it go.
Happening.
He thinks it could something
That's
could
not
change. And I'm like, I haven't seen the either. I don't think it either.
I'll tell you right now, Adam's cousin, shout out to Jamie, because he is a massive Florida Panthers fan, the only one I know.
Oh wow.
And yeah, like massive.
Random.
And yeah, it's very random. So anyway, I forget the story. It was I don't know, I'm not asking him now, but anyway, how he became a fan from when he was a kid. But anyhow, he's been talking about Spencer Knight for years, like with us, and talking about this prospect, and they couldn't wait for him to come up, and then he got to come up last year, I believe, in the playoffs or just before playoffs or something. And yeah, I mean, he's their number one like prospect, I believe, in their pool, and well, obviously in goalies, but like when you have someone like that, you don't let them go when they're that good, especially at his age.
He's coming in on a very, very solid team as well.
He is. Yeah.
Well, that's true as well. Yeah, that's very true. So it doesn't hurt.
So what's going to hurt?
He's out a great goalie.
They still got that big contract in Bobrovsky, which is going to catch up on them. If Spencer Knight is their guy, Bobrovsky eventually becomes their backup.
Maybe
say next year. That's a contract not a lot of teams are going to be able to take.
That's what I was going to say. That's an expensive backup.
Yeah.
You gotta sweeten up that deal.
You send him to Edmonton.
You got with something sweet.
You got to pick a team who drafts Shane Wright and is in big time rebuild mode that you can dump that contract on. Basically, is what it amounts to. You know, a team like Detroit could take on that contract right now because of where they're to in their rebuild.
Even Ottawa got some money.
To a point, yes. A team like the Senators, you got to find a team that's where the Leafs were to again 5 years ago. That you can drop that on and give them a first round pick for doing it, and then accelerate the rebuild, and they'll pay out the guy's contract. But again, it's got to be a larger market team.
Isn't that 5 or 6 more years?
Yeah, it's got to be like
that's a big one there. Like I always hear about the Leafs being in salary cap trouble. You heard him talk on the telecast tonight about Tampa. Like, Point's contract hasn't clicked in yet. Like, they lost their entire third line after the playoffs. Now, I would take a Stanley Cup and lose our third line in a moment, but that's going to keep on trickling. There's a lot of teams in trouble. Like, Vegas are going to be in trouble. Colorado is going to be in a world of hurt. McKinnon hasn't hit the big contract yet. Like, it's not just Toronto. Like, maybe the other teams are more balanced with their cap dollars, but that's why, like, a signing of Nylander at that dollar value. I think Raleigh is still a good value at that amount.
What a price to defenseman, yeah.
So like a lot of teams, but I say as well, like if you're not contending, you wouldn't be at the salary cap if you're not contending.
Right.
Oh.
Exactly
No, that's
right.
true.
And like I said,
Loopholes.
Fine being at the cap.
The key with moving a guy like Bobrovsky too is it's not just a cap hit. Not every team in NHL can afford to eat salaries, and I mean fiscally. Like the Arizona Coyotes, for example, who would be a great prospect team to dump it to. They can't physically afford to pay a guy $10 million.
No,
Right? They're not a cap
they don't even have
team,
an arena.
right? So you got to find that right mix where you got big time ownership, big time bucks, but really crappy product on the ice. And it's 4 years he's got left after this one. So
Yeah.
you would have to dump him to a team who's, like I said, drafting first overall pick next year. That's where
why
we are.
Eichel trade was so difficult because the market for that player and that contract is so low. The only way it's only a team like Vegas could make that trade without dumping a ton of salary back. The only way Calgary makes that trade is if Tkachuk is in it. They wouldn't be able to take it with prospects and picks.
Right?
Like there's only Kessel was the same thing years ago. The amount of leverage that Buffalo had was very little because there was only so many teams vying for Eichel in that contract. It's big.
This is my issue with the whole Calgary rumor. I don't believe for a second that that Calgary were in on this, because if Johnny Gaudreau or Matthew Tkachuk were involved in a trade rumor, I think that they'd be in Buffalo already. I really do. So I might be way off on that.
Depends on what Calgary. I'd say Calgary didn't want to get rid of Tkachuk. I would imagine it was all Gaudreau.
I don't think he did.
And plenty of others, because I don't think Calgary will ever part with Tkachuk. And I don't
maybe
even know
Buffalo
if that was
didn't
real.
want the.
Sure.
It was probably
Buffalo
just
didn't
as a
want the big
man.
dollars going back.
I bet you
think it was just
Buffalo
a-
wanted Tkachuk. That's where his name
Yes,
came
absolutely.
up. Was they asked for Tkachuk, perhaps, or perhaps that's who they were going to give up. And I read that they would have to then qualify him, of course,
Yeah.
for what he's paid, for what his salary is, which like $9 million or something.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why Buffalo didn't want it. But I'm like, I don't know.
Do you think Tkachuk is going to sign there long term in Buffalo? Not happening.
Absolutely
No.
not. So
I wouldn't be surprised if the conversation was had. He was in the trade, and maybe Buffalo had an opportunity to talk to him. Maybe that's not the case, but no way Tkachuk signs with that team.
Yeah.
Nah.
No way
Sure.
Keith was letting that happen either.
They,
Daddy Tkachuk is not having his kid in Buffalo right now.
No.
the fact of the matter is too is that Buffalo had a failed rebuild, right? They did the same thing the Oilers did. They attempted to rebuild and it didn't pan out. And then the Oilers drafted McDavid. If Buffalo's on the same trajectory, then they're looking at Tank Nation again this year and then drafting Shane Wright, because he's your next generational talent that's coming. And if they can get in on a player like Shane, then they can instantly turn things around and do so without
They got
a ton of
competition.
salary and guys like Johnny Gaudreau coming back, right? So you build your franchise
Well,
around
Montreal-
that.
I don't know if you can do it with Eichel and Ristolainen and Reinhardt. You know, I mean, geez, man, you had a good shot there.
I wouldn't want Gaudreau in that trade. I don't see that as a fair trade for Eichel. That's not a player I want to build my team around.
No,
I'm
The rest would
disappointed.
have to be pretty sweet around it.
I thought Monahan was going to be a much better player, like that big
Yes.
center, for years,
I'm
but
a
he
big
hasn't
fan of
panned out.
Monahan.
It's if there was any player going the other way, it would have been Tkachuk, but I think Buffalo, with him being an RFA coming up this season, I don't think they thought they were going to sign him long term.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
and that's
they
what
might
I
never have
think
got
as
the
well.
chance to. They might never have got the chance to draft him anyway.
No.
So one more NHL team to talk about before we get down to some local business. I think we'd be remiss if we didn't give Kylie the opportunity to laugh wholeheartedly that Cole Caufield is now in the AHL. Go ahead. Cole.
Oh, I love it.
I mean, you can go back and watch videos. I've been saying it.
Just because
Yeah,
I told you.
yeah.
I mean,
The way they're
it's not
playing
that
right
I
now,
don't think
he's better off
I-
anywhere else.
exactly. And I wouldn't laugh as like, oh, Montreal, but yeah, they
I
suck
did.
right now. And yeah, I know that was awesome. I had your back though. But oh yeah, I had someone on a TSN thing call me a bimbo because I was like,
Ooh.
but I thought he was supposed to win the Calder. I'm like, shut up, buddy. Just because I'm a female don't mean I don't know squat about hockey, because I know more
That's
than
right.
you, I bet. But anyway, that's a different conversation for a different day.
They might
But
jilted.
no,
Yeah.
I just believe that Montreal rushed their prospects. They have a history of ruining their prospects. Just let them flourish in the AHL. Let them. You guys are obviously not doing much this year. It is
Listen,
what it
whatever
is.
last year
And
was,
yes,
now
COVID
we're seeing the follow up. And Weber is retired apparently.
was a big. And him and Price, and with who else did they lose? Dano.
Dano.
Yeah, so
They're
I'm telling you.
Dano.
I even said
Like, I mean,
if they miss the
they're-
playoffs next year, and there's lots of season for them to turn it around, but I really don't think it's going to happen.
100%.
But
They
I'm
don't
not
have the
surprised
team
it's
I mean,
to do it.
happening.
Carey
Everybody
Price
was
is supposed to be
shocked.
coming back this week or
What
next
they
week or
did.
something. So whether or not he's actually going to be playing, but they just said he's leaving the player assistance program sometime this week. But I mean, they could turn it around with Carey Price in net. That gives them a little bit of motivation, a little bit of confidence. They might, who knows?
Well, if
There's
I
no
don't see
doubt
it.
that they can do
Well,
it.
I don't see it either, Paddy. But if you would have told me last year that they were going to go to the Cup final, I would have said, I don't see
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
But
I don't-
you know what?
And
For a team,
That's why
like,
I don't doubt anything.
I'm sure as a fan
Like
of the
that can
Habs, they
Another
were very excited going to the playoffs last year. But I don't think there are teams that are just not ready to make that push, and like they barely made the playoffs. The year previous, they only got in for COVID. Like, I don't know, did they hurt themselves in the draft, or I just don't see him as a team. Like, even with the Webers and the Prices and Denos last year, they still weren't good. Price hasn't been a good regular season
Corey
goalie for a
Perry's
long
gone.
while. Like, I just don't see it. And I'm going to pick on the Habs fans here right now because they were big on Paling. They're big on Louis LeBlanc back in the day.
Yeah.
They're big on a lot of these stars. Maybe Caufield has it. He looks like he got a skill set to do it, but
He does. Yeah.
Kotkaniemi's out of town. Did he sign Suzuki too early? I don't know, or to too
Yeah.
much. But I think their draft history is starting to creep up on them
Yeah.
big time.
All right, you see this? So this is Cole
Hey, wait,
Caufield's.
I saw this.
Yeah,
Did you?
he after he got sent down to the AHL, he actually went in and changed his picture. It was him in like a Habs jersey, like a action shot, we'll say, and he took it out of his profile, like it was, I don't know what it was, like Habs player or something, or plays for the Habs. I don't know, something in his Twitter bio.
I hope
Like,
he requests a trade.
That's sad.
Oh,
That's sad. I'm sorry, but like that's sad. Like
Is he
I
not
feel
playing for
bad
those
for the
guys
kid. I
either?
really do.
because at the end of the day, he's just a kid, and he's probably living out his dream.
He's
you know,
got the
playing in
swagger.
the
He's
NHL.
cocky, right?
Goes to the Cup final and like his first year. Ooh, look at me! And then gets sent down. But I kind of feel bad for the kid. But at the end of the day, he shouldn't have been brought up. Yes, for the playoffs last year. Yep, why not? But there's
I
no reason
love
why
it.
he had to start this year.
Yeah.
Like they
These
did.
cocky
can't-
American
Um,
kids. I only like one, and that's Matthews.
Yeah.
True that. True that. True that.
Caulfield and Trevor Zegras and all these guys. God, I can't stand their attitude, right? So anyway,
I just
It is
love
what
every
it
bit
is.
of it.
But yeah.
one
I thought
last
that
thing,
was funny
guys.
because I was like, what a suck. That's a pure
Yeah.
definition of
Yeah.
a suck.
Loves it.
Yeah. One last thing to hit now before we knock this on the head. Growlers Nation. We got hockey this weekend. And,
Woo, tomorrow.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, it's in a small arena. Only season ticket holders are getting in. That'll change. I'm sure that if there's one thing I'm confident in is Dean McDonald and his crowd. They're going to figure this out for us.
Yep.
But it should be a sold-out house out in CBS. So
Oh
best
yeah,
luck.
6
to-
games.
Best luck to the boys in black and gold. And
Yeah, rant and roar.
Yep, all that good stuff. So,
Yeah,
yep.
it's
Since our
gonna
last
be,
podcast, there's been a lot happen, and that's the main thing that we got to report for those of you who are watching from away and following along with Growlers Nation. The boys are back on the ice, just not in the city of St. John. So it's going to be temporary, but nonetheless, we got hockey back on the rocks.
It's gonna be cool all the same.
say someone mentioned, that they'll be playing out of the Glacier, but like, no, you'd get way less than what you're getting in CBS at the Glacier.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think that's a possibility. I feel like the only possibility we have right now is probably CBS. If
Which
you're
is
staying
just
on this
under
side of the
1100.
island,
Yeah.
yeah, or if you're going to like, I can't even say that new arena in Harbor Grace, you ain't fitting that in there, or Corner Brook. There's supposed to be a big arena in Corner Brook. I'm
There's
not sure
3,500
what
out there.
capacity-
How cool would it be if
Oh,
they
okay.
could like travel between a few different ranks across the island and do this with this
I mean,
weird year?
Well, it's a great opportunity to
I
do
think
so.
that'd be a
It'd be
really
insane.
cool
The
idea.
Newfoundland
And then,
Growlers can be new, like truly
Yeah.
all Newfoundland. I mean, the
so they
logistics would be
should. I
terrible.
mean,
Gross.
100%.
just
Like
on
for,
to house
especially for the
everybody.
visiting teams. Like, yeah. Oh my God,
But I
that
mean-
too.
But in
if
Claremont
you
has
only
a
went to, like,
rink just like
Corner
CBS, I
Brook
believe.
and
Similar.
Yeah, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hint, hint, Dean
Love to see it
McDonald.
happen.
That's an idea.
Yeah.
And then you have to give us tickets though, because we came up
I
with
don't
the
mind
idea.
spending your money with my ideas.
Yeah.
I will pay
Well,
for them. I don't
I
want
had
them
a
for
great
free.
idea. I think we
What was
should be
that?
doing a live podcast at a Growlers game.
Man,
That'd be
we
so
talked
cool.
about that last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we
I-
got to
I
make
thought
that
it was cool.
happen.
We have to get a box.
That'd be
Yep.
cool.
That's doable. Let's
No,
figure it out.
up in the concourse, fans coming by.
Yeah.
Only
Yeah.
thing
I
is,
don't know,
We don't have
record.
the mile one anymore.
so the boots
Streaming
and
it
the
on Paddy's
concourse-
account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're using Paddy's
like-
data. We'll just
I'm
put a
kind of
little
glad
hat
it's
out
over.
front. We'll put a
I'd be
little hat
happy
on
to
the
never
ground
walk
front
in
of
the
us.
doors of the mile one.
Podcasted
Again.
for pennies.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Just put like a little hat, and so people can like put the money in it as they're walking by. We
Yeah,
only
luckily-
accept toonies and loonies.
We don't need your money because we got a sponsor.
Yes.
But I can
great-
take more sponsors.
Well,
I love my sponsors.
Sponsorships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got a sponsor. We got a great sponsor, PHG
Absolutely.
Sports out of Whitby, Ontario. Also owners of the Costco Memorabilia Roadshow, of course, right? So any of your signed merchandise, guys, that you're looking for, PHG is the spot for that. You can get them online, www.phgsports.com. PHG Sports, that's where the pros sign. So again, check out those guys. You'll never be disappointed with the quality of gear you're getting there. That's a plug for PHG. But if you guys are cool, I think we should shut this down.
Yeah.
We're all
Yep.
extra happy. And
Quarter
I
after
think,
12, I'm good to go.
I got to go
I
watch
think-
the highlights again.
Yeah.
well, this is just it.
Served. I want to see Joe Bowen's highlights. I can't wait to hear him.
Yes.
Like all
Oh,
those
me too.
tech saves and those goals. I can't wait to hear it.
After the game too, I was like, "There's no way 3 of those guys are going to bed now. We may as well podcast because everyone's too hyped
Yeah.
up. You're not going to sleep."
Yep.
Oh, my heart was
I'm
just
good.
pounding. My heart was pounding out my chest. I was like ready to go.
Too good
What a
not to talk
game.
about.
What a game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what a game.
Yeah. So if you enjoyed what you heard tonight, guys, you enjoyed the podcast, you enjoyed a bit of upbeat Leafs takes. That's what we're all about. We try to keep it real, keeping it fresh, and keeping it upbeat. We're Leafs, we believe, and we're gonna keep doing that. So yeah, make sure to give us a share and a like if you're interested in more of our content. We've got a lot of great stuff happening on Facebook. We've got a new guy brought on board. Mr. Paul Loader, member of our team now. He's come on board DSC as a graphic designer and content
Growlers
creator.
super fan.
Growler super fan and hockey
Super
know-it-all.
talented.
Yes, we're extremely lucky. So big shout out to
All
Paul.
around
as
good
well.
dude.
He'll be doing some fancy dancy stuff for us here very soon. And also we're looking for writers. So if you know anyone out there who's an avid hockey fan and writer, we're looking to add some writers to our team as well for blogs. So you can track us on YouTube, of course. You get all of our video content on YouTube. Just search Deke Snipe Selly. On Facebook, www.facebook.com/DekeSnipeSelly, and on Twitter @SillyDeke. If you're a listener, which I think most people who follow our podcast are, you're likely listening on one of the major providers like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Play-In, iHeartRadio. But again, if you guys notice somewhere where our podcast isn't, make sure to let us know and we'll get it added. But we're pretty much everywhere where you can listen to podcasts right about now. So again, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time, peace out.
Cheers.